Hey Star Wars fans, how's it going? It's John, and before I get started, I want to thank you for subscribing and turning on the notifications. That's huge. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. This video, I want to review the Star Wars Escape from Death Star game. This just came out. It is a Target exclusive, and if you haven't seen this thing before, I know what you're thinking. It looks retro because it's made to look retro, or vintage, I should say. This came out, the original board game came out in 1977, obviously during the same year as Star Wars came out. It was a big hit, and what's cool is Target recently introduced this new, what they call a retro line of figures, and I'll review those figures on future videos very shortly here. But what's cool about this pack is it comes with a pack-in Tarkin that's exclusive to this pack. This retails for $19.99 US dollars. As I mentioned before, it is only available at Target. Here's the front. Give you a good look at the front. Very cool, old school. Kind of like the worn look here. This line has intentionally they do like a worn look, like make it look like old school. And the back. Back looks the same. Now, somewhere I do have the original game. I was looking through my Star Wars collection. I couldn't find it for this video, unfortunately. But if I ever do find it, or when I do find it, I'll be sure to do a comparison video. But for the most part, it looks very similar. The back's very similar to the original. The only difference I noticed, obviously, Hasbro Gaming, Disney. That's not on the back of the original one, of course. But for the most part, they did a good job making it look like old school vintage. And in the very top corner there is a picture of Tarkin exclusive. So let's open this up, take a closer look, and thanks for watching. So here's a closer look at the board game itself. Exclusive Grand Moff Tarkin, as I mentioned before. Surprisingly, Kenner never released a Tarkin for the vintage line of series, which is surprising. He's a fan favorite and all. But the first Tarkin came out by Kenner in the mid-90s for the Power of the Force line. Let's go and open this up. You have a spinner here with R2-D2. You have some cards. Let's open these cards real quick. These are looks like they have they're wrapped. Let's open this up. Wow, surprisingly, that was without fingernails. My fingernails are very short. Kind of a pain to open. So if you have a knife or key or something like that. So these are different action cards. So you have Han and Chewbacca are trapped. Move Luke and Leia to their space. They all do different things. Move Luke, Leia, and Han, Chewbacca, Darth Vader. Death Star, DS5, coordinate, etc. So really cool drawings. Looks like a lot of the drawings are kind of similar. Stormtroopers and Quarter lose a turn. So they all have action cards, right? And there's a handful of these. I'd say there's probably at least 25 or so cards. Here's a spinner. Let's open this up. The spinner looks like it stays in the box like so, and this is kind of like your die. This is what you do when you move. So you spin it, win, lose, okay? You also have stands for your characters. These you punch out, you put it on the stand so they fold, okay? So it's a 4-player game. You have yellow, blue, red, and green. Here's instructions on how to do this. This initially came out by Kenner back in the day. So you've got equipment, Death Star, blueprint card, tractor beam card. So to play this game, it's pretty straightforward. You start with it in the trash compactor in the bottom left corner here, and the goal is to get the rebel base. The first player to do so wins the game. You have a spinner. You can move forward and you left, right. You can't move backwards. These yellow dots don't really do much. The blue ones are force cards, and you draw a force card at random. Sometimes they help you, sometimes they hurt you. So let's draw one, for example. This one says Han, Chewbacca are trapped. Move your Luke, Leia to that space. Okay? So move to wherever Chewbacca is, I suppose. Goal is to get tractor beam, to get the blueprints, get the control room, right? So there's different cards. So for example, you have the blueprints and you have the tractor beam. So tractor beam, you get those cards here. You need the blueprints in the control room. Once you get one of those cards, you can go to the Millennium Falcon, get hyperspace, and go to the rebel base to spin. And you have to land on those exact spins. Pretty straightforward game, pretty quick to play, not too complicated, which is nice, but there's some chance with those force cards. Now let's take a closer look at Grand Moff Tarkin figure. You can see here he's not as detailed as a vintage line of figures, but he's some more detailed than I guess he would be if he was original vintage. Still really cool. I love the fact that they released a new figure, kind of made it look like it was released in the 70s. I'm a big fan of that. What other figures would you like to see released that never came out of the vintage line? There's so many that never came out for the vintage line back in the day that they could look retro or vintage. Now they call it retro because they're already using the vintage term in the vintage line. I guess they don't want to confuse people. This is a sticker, so it is raised a little bit. Also notice, as I was saying before, the board this game, same here. You can see this, the fake wear and tear here. That's intentional. And even the figures, like when they redid Chewbacca, he's slightly shorter than the original Chewbacca, which is interesting. So they have 6 figures now, 7 including Grand Moff Tarkin. They're missing the other 6, Greedo and all the other figures that haven't come out yet. Maybe that's another wave. It is in multiple languages, which I kind of wish it wasn't, but it is what it is. I'm a fan of this. Let me know what you guys think. Again, for $19.99, not too bad at Target. These are pretty hard to find it now. Hopefully they get a little easier to pick up. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, and may the Force be with you.